The secondary aspect is what you acquire later in life due to series of sicknesses that resist treatment, due to resistance to antibiotics or whatever. And suddenly you develop the immunodeficiency. And then you became someone who has this type of disease after, taking treatment such as series of antibiotics or chemotherapy. People with this type of health challenges are more vulnerable to common and serious infection that may last longer and become severe. It's also applicable to people who can fall victim of such as people managing HIV, cancer, and series of resistant infection. There are prerequisites to effect restoration. I mean, the input. I've been speaking about the atmosphere, without which nothing will happen. I equally spoke about what can trigger it, which has to do with the point I just rounded up now. The need for us to restore the healing potentials. I've mentioned them. Also, there are inputs that are needed. This input is like nourishment. It's like a booster. Of course, some of them create and enforce an atmosphere for the healing to take place. And if we fail to do this nourishment, we may lack, or our body may refuse to activate the potentials that we are endowed with. In fact, we may even lack enough potentials to be able to do justice, and do the fighting. Number one of it is the nutrition, which has to do with the nourishment. Nutrition and the diet we are taking, it must be balanced. It must correspond with our state of health. For example, if you are battling with high blood pressure, you must minimize salt intake. If you are battling with diabetes, you must be mindful of sugar intake. And when we neglect all these things, and of course, if you are suffering from pain, you must consider pain relieving ingredients such as ginger, and of course, moringa can reduce inflammations. And then nutrition. Garlic also can help immune system and lower cholesterol. Now, when these little input are not part of the diet that we are taking, of course, don't expect an automated movement of your healing potentials to activation. The work they are going to do will be based on the nourishment they derive from your body. A lot of people suffer poor nourishment due to diabetes, due to degeneration in the metabolic system. And as such person may not be able, to offer all it takes for the immune system to function optimally. So nutrition is key as part of the key inputs that must be put in place. Another point, a part of the prerequisite to restore the immune system and to nourish the healing potential to be activated is rest and sleep. How much rest are you doing? A lot of us, we feel we are super. We work here, work there, we do work from morning to night until when they hear that person collapse. It is then they will say spiritual. We are not resting enough. We are not sleeping enough. Then when we lack this basic point, automatically there will be no room for the healing potential to re-energize and to do justice. And of course, when we deplete the volume of the healing potentials, we can use sleep and rest to restore them back. It's part of the input. Very needful. It's a prerequisite that are required for our body to build up more immune cells and to do justice, to eliminate every form of the unwanted in our body system. What about the physical activities? Engaging ourselves in indoor and outdoor exercise. Doing enough to burn calories and to burn, and to burn cholesterol. When we are not doing enough to boost our strength muscles and tendons, and to strengthen our muscles. We have muscles in the kidney, we have muscles in the heart. We have series of tissues that are working tirelessly to ensure our blood is circulating to different areas. We need to do exercise to restore them. Ladies and gentlemen, what exercise can do, at times food cannot do it, nutrients cannot do it. So we need to cultivate the habit. We need to enforce it on our system in a gradual way. Don't rush. You can start from indoor or trekking for some few minutes or hours. Just trekking alone. From the lowest minute, you increase it to the highest minute up to an hour. As you do this gradually, you will not suffer pain and you will not suffer any form of stress that can cause system breakdown. Because we are talking about input. I'm not talking about you doing it in a way to cause another injury. So physical exercise is key to improve the activities of the healing potentials. Now, connecting with nature. Some of us will remove all the trees and we don't even plant any tree around our house. And we don't love to go to beach. We don't love to go to places where fresh air, can nourish, our lungs, and then where we can do some little exercise and get refreshed. We are so far from nature, and we don't even know the importance. You don't know when you take in fresh oxygen, you will take out your carbon dioxide, and of course, the plants around your house also take those carbon dioxide and give you back oxygen. It makes balances that we are talking about to be created in our body system. And of course, all these immune cells, they can produce more, they can multiply, and then you can have enough to do the fighting. So we need to be connected back to nature. If you have been powered from nature, when God created the heavens and the earth, the best gift He gives a man is in the book of Genesis 9 verse 3, and then he gave us animals, to be our food, and He also gave us the green plant. And this gift, He told us that He has given us everything. If you read that verse very well, He said everything. My people perish for lack of knowledge. Connecting with nature is key, is foundational, is fundamental, and is traceable to our source. And of course, is part of our faith. Is what God Himself has made provision for to keep us in good health. And also, herbal supplement and natural products, they are good examples. Most especially if we can cultivate the habit of cleaning our vessels periodically, we will realize that nature is meant for nature, and we can improve the activities of these healing potentials, and it doesn't cost us anything. All it costs us is a change of lifestyle and to embrace nature in a different dimensions. There are medical advices tonight that I would like to release for us. We should endeavor to observe periodic checkup, both at home and in the hospital. This periodic checkup will help us to know the early stage of any disorder. Peradventure, we are battling with issues and we are not aware. This periodic checkup will help us to have the knowledge of the early stage of such a problem. And I also encourage us never to miss our appointment with our physician periodically. If you meet once in a year, twice in a year, 3 times in a year, there's a reason why it is advised. A lot of us have hereditary challenges, and then you don't want to be diabetic, you don't want to be hypertensive, you don't want to have breast cancer, you don't want to have prostate. You have to go for periodic checkup. And if you don't care to even know the hereditary challenges that is existing in your lineage, that is most miserable. Please challenge yourself tonight to find out and to cultivate the habit of periodic appointment, and never fail in your appointment with your physician to be able to prevent system breakdown. Also, document various symptoms observed on daily basis. A lot of us, as we are aging, we suffer from loss of memory. And then when this loss of memory persists, you find out there's no way you will go to any physician, go to the best physician in the world. If you cannot produce information regarding your health, you are a goner. They cannot address it. They cannot investigate. They won't be able to diagnose. There's no way they can go deeper. So when you document symptoms, it will help you. When you go to the physician, bring it out and start going through it. It will help them to dig deep into the likely cause and trace it and begin to investigate. And of course, the treatment will be specific, intentional, and it will be directional. And it will hit target. And the patient will be able to go home happy and rejoicing. You have to do regular indoor exercise. I think I've mentioned that. Because if you fail to do this regular indoor exercise, you find out you are just, especially when you choose to be indoor, maybe you are busy doing some things, or maybe you are working and then the nature of your work is not allowing you to sweat, it's not allowing you to energize your muscles, and the heart is getting weaker, the liver is getting weaker, the kidney is getting weaker. At times we don't even know that the way we sit, and as we are sitting down, we are even giving our kidney heavy load, and we are giving our heart heavy load. That's why some people, because of lack of balanced vascular system, they tend to develop swollenness, and then they give their kidney heavy load, and then because they lack knowledge about their state of health, it can even cause the kidney failure. And as such, there will be system breakdown. It is important that we do the indoor exercise because it's very helpful in giving us mental balance, in moderating our cholesterol and glucose level, and also it helps in the strengthening of our muscles, tendons, and keeping us fit. It make us to be fitted at all time. Operate under prescribed diet. Don't just say, why should I take this? Of course, if you share your medical history and your lineage history with your medical doctor, they can give you advice. And when they now give you advice, are you following it? If your father or your mother is diabetic or hypertensive, and they are telling you, do this, avoid this, leave this, don't take this in excess, they are trying to prevent the unforeseen. They are trying to prevent what? The unforeseen. So a lot of people who fail to obey instructions, even this exercise we are talking about, can equally help to improve metabolic system and digestion in people that are suffering from stagnation, most especially with diabetic patients or aged people who have weakness or degenerated digestions and metabolic system. They suffer a lot of improper digestion, and when they take their feces to the lab and they analyze this, after going to the toilet, take it to the lab, they analyze, they discover that the feces is loaded with a lot of nutrients that ought to have been, directed into the body tissues for the purpose of nourishment. And then because the system is not breaking those food effectively, of course it will come out. And then you just find out the diabetic patient will be emaciating. Somebody that is hypertensive, is not diabetes, is also emaciating. They are losing a lot of body tissues, they are losing bone densities, they are losing a lot of things, and they are emaciating and all those stuffs. And then it will not be traceable to poor diet. So we need to engage the body system and stimulate it to have sound metabolic system and also good diet that is suitable for our health status to enable us to nourish all our healing potentials. We have to learn to understand the simple interpretation. Finally, learn to understand the simple word interpretation of the language that your body speaks. This is a whole topic on its own, but it's important I let you know. When you have proper documentations of what you feel and the interpretation from your physician, you can establish that these symptoms is meant for this. When you want to know and understand the interpretation, you must be good custodian of nature. you must cultivate the habit of documenting symptoms and inquire from your physician. It will enable you to understand the language, because it can be so disheartening to hear that some people, have a lot of symptoms before they eventually fall victim of system breakdown. And then you begin to wonder, this thing, you can even take water to prevent it. You can take warm water to prevent it. You can take some spices to prevent it. Why did you find yourself in this situation? They will be telling us a lot of things that they have gone through in the past. That does not affect you from having understanding about what your body speaks. Yes, it also helps us in presenting our case before our physician, especially if you need treatment. And you are telling doctor, oh, I feel pain in this particular location, I feel this headache, and then I have this chest pain, I feel pain in this location, I don't digest properly, I have this, restlessness, and then that is traceable to my blood pressure. All those things you need to know and be familiar with what it means. And of course, it's going to help us to prevent sicknesses and keep us fit and keep us in good health condition to enable us to enjoy the activities of the healing potential. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight I believe you have learned a deeper lessons on creating an atmosphere for the healing potentials to work, and also putting the input required to nourish those cells so as to be able to harmonize the activities of the healing potential and activate their work, especially when you don't expect an incident that happen that requires their prompt action. And to this end, I want to put a pause on my talk regarding, restoring their the healing potential. And of course, to round it up, we have a role to play. I have a role to play. Healing potential is right there. It's created by God. But we have a role, especially when we are aging, to ensure they are activated, to ensure they are nourished, to ensure the atmosphere is created, and to ensure that we prevent the unforeseen, and for us to also minimize and probably prevent at all costs everything related to age-related diseases. May God help us all. Thank you for listening. God bless you.